Welcome everyone, and this is the hottest pro wrestling show on the net, on YouTube, or wherever it is you may stream things. This is Top Rope Talk with myself, the wrestling professor Billy Cruz, right below me, and your right will be our special guest, and known him for a real long time. He does radio and media work in the DFW area, Mr. Martez Turner. How you fellas doing tonight?
Great, man. Great.
We doing lit. We doing live. We lit. We doing blessed.
About as lit as that crowd on Saturday. It has been. I legit came from watching it like, you know what? I don't know which crowd was rowdier, the one at WrestleMania or the one in France.
The one in France was.
I mean that one. That crowd was awesome, and I really loved how they sung. If a theme song had lyrics, they actually sung the lyrics. You know what I mean?
They sang from everything to Cody Rhodes to Randy Orton to everybody.
Mm-hmm. Lyrics I can't sing, and I've been watching all of them for forever.
I can't sing either, brother. I'm right there with you.
I knew, of course, we all know the ones in English, and then it was sometimes, they were like chanting things in French, and I was like, man, I wish I knew what they were saying.
Right? Are they cussing them out? Are they little boo boo boo? You know what I mean? Like, oui, that's all I know. And bonjour. That's it.
That's pretty much everyone's range here, So before we get started, just want to let everybody know you can catch us on YouTube, on Facebook, on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. We're also on LinkedIn, DBTV, and Stream TV as well. Also, be on the lookout for our other shows. So tomorrow night, it'll be the Sideline Sports Show. Wednesday, Confidential. And Friday, the Gauntlet. We're going to have a very, very interesting debate for a non-sports topic. It's going to be about music. It's going to be about two mainstays that have been going at it. One of them from where Martez is from. So yeah, that will be a very interesting. So definitely tune in to Sideline Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Also follow James Tatum 12 on YouTube as well. So let's go ahead and get started. And this is our recap episode for Backlash France, which took place this last Saturday on May the 4th. It had at 1 p.m. Eastern time start time due to them being in France. They're like 6 hours away from. I remember when I was stationed in Italy, we were 7 hours from Central Standard Time. So yeah, same time. But it was an amazing pay-per-view. It actually ended up better than people thought, because that's not to say that Backlash was never exciting, because for the most part over history, Backlash has always kind of contained rematches from WrestleMania, you know what I mean? But something about this one right here was just a little different, seeing as no match on the card was a rematch from WrestleMania. So with that being said, we'll get on to our first matchup. The Bloodline, Solo and Tamu, defeated Kevin Owens and Randy Orton in a tornado tag street fight. So basically, Nick Aldis came out there. The four competitors got out there and started brawling, and the referee just couldn't break them apart. Nick Aldis came out there and said, "Hey, you guys don't want to abide by the rules? Cool. We'll make this no rules. We'll make it a street fight." The Lyon French crowd goes crazy. They get into an awesome street fight. Man, I think the best spot was the Kevin Owens when he does his counter superplex on the chairs. I thought.
Okay, yeah. That was like, wow. That was a spot right there. I was like, oh God, no, he's dead. Somebody call 911, please.
Yeah. And then Tangaloa made his debut helping his brother Tamu. So it looks like we're slowly seeing the Bloodline 2.0 being built up. But I want to first get Taz's thoughts on this match right here. What do you think of the match, and what do you think about the immediate future of the Bloodline?
It's funny because when the match was initially announced, I was like, I don't know about this one because I'm not familiar with the guy from New Japan. I don't really know a lot about him. I had to do some research on him. And so when they announced the match, I was like, he hasn't even wrestled yet in WWE. We're going to immediately put him in a pay-per-view against two terrific wrestlers? Are we sure about this? So I went into it concerned. I was happy it turned into a street fight. That way, if he couldn't wrestle, street fights hide your weaknesses.
That is true. That's very true.
And because of that, it made the match a lot more exciting. very physical. The spot you two just mentioned, I was actually concerned about Kevin Owens' neck. I thought his neck hit right on the edge of the chair,
Yeah,
and
that spot.
initially I was like, "Oh man, he just really hurt himself right there," because that's the way it looked initially. When I watched it a few times, it wasn't as bad as I thought, but that was a tough spot.
It
And
was.
then when the big old huge human came from underneath the rope, I was like, that is not Jacob Fatu. That's not the guy
No,
I'm expecting to see. Who is
And he
this
was
man?
he was a little too
that's
big
what
to
I
be
was
Jimmy
expecting to
Uso
see too. I
too.
was expecting to see Fatu.
Exactly. I think we all were. And so, once again, Triple H, I just can't call him by a first name. I just can't do it. Triple H, he, once again, he got us. He's doing a good job. He got us. Everything's not quite as predictable as it used to be, and I love that. And I gave the match
The
4 out of 5
swerves.
stars. I thought it was really fun.
4 out of 5. Okay, not bad. Billy, what'd you think about the match?
Man, I thought it was excellent for an opening start, man. Like literally, like they were brawling, they were fighting, like you were saying. You briefed it down, you broke it down pretty much. My man Taz is breaking it down, like, yo, it was a brawl. Like, and then Nick comes out there and is like, okay, guys, okay, enough. We're gonna give you a street fight. You know what I mean? And all those spots, like the table spots, I was like, oh my god, that table crack. You know, it's like a cracking.
Yeah.
When Solo Slam did the Samoan backdrop to him, Randy
Yeah.
Orton on the
Mhm.
table. He was like, okay, well, Kevin did this to Tama. I'm gonna do this to Solo, or I'm gonna do this to Randy. And boom, you didn't see Randy for a little bit. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? So all these spots were like, whoa, my god. You know what I mean? And like Mr. Taz was saying, hey, Triple H is doing a great job with this swerve stuff. Like,
Yeah.
because we were all expecting Jacob Fatu. Like, here's another guy that was under the ring and just comes out and pulls the you know what I mean? Like, just goes, no. I'm here now. And nobody really knows about, like he said, he didn't know about New Japan, and you know what I mean? Because everybody loves wrestling. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Everybody's got their own thing, but this guy's gonna be new and just right. You're gonna shoot him up straight to the main roster.
Yeah.
And one last take on that. Paul Heyman, he tripped me out the whole night because he was just like,
Yeah. It's
and
almost.
then he was backing away when he didn't want to. He didn't want like, oh my god, where's Roman?
He
Where's
wasn't.
Roman?
Yeah, he wasn't
Where's Roman?
recognizing what was happening.
Please, Tribal Chief, come back.
No,
He was
Once
absolutely.
again,
scared.
Paul Heyman does a magnificent job of telling a story without saying anything.
That is true.
He's the
Very
best.
true.
He doesn't have
Yeah.
to say anything. And he
No,
can tell a whole story without saying anything. It's a skill that not a lot of people possess, and he's the best at it.
Yeah.
exactly.
Absolutely. I agree. I totally agree with this one.
But yeah, he rated it. Hey, I rated it a 9. I'm not gonna be
I
generous
agree.
about it. That match was fire for an opening
Okay. Hey, no, definitely not bad at all. I mean, you something
because
like
they were
this.
going everywhere.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Something like this, it's always great to start a pay-per-view off with a bang, and they absolutely did it. To Taz's point, I don't think anyone saw this match being the one to start off with a bang,
Yeah,
but
I didn't even see it opening
yeah,
either. I thought it was gonna be like maybe the not the main, but like before the main, the pre-main.
yeah. But no, I mean, absolutely, it got the crowd on their feet, it got them excited and everything. Everyone at home was like, "Whoa, this is a street fight, and we're seeing bodies crashing. We're seeing people flying. We're seeing people debuting. It
Trash can spots, all the above, kendo sticks.
it did. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 myself because this one was better than expected. I thought it was gonna
Yep.
be which still would have been all right with me, but it definitely earned a 4 out of 5. But we'll go on to our
Yes.
match to probably what I would say was if I had to pick the weakest match on the card, but was still solid. But Bailey successfully defended her championship women's title against Naomi and Tiffany Stratton. So I'll start off with Taz first. Just how long can Bailey be the woman, and how long before Tiffany is on top? Should, Would she be champion?
Uh, Tiffany will probably be champion. Where are we at in April now? I'd say probably some by
Okay.
SummerSlam. She'll probably be
Mm.
champion by
Oh, you
SummerSlam.
think so? Okay.
She'll probably dethrone Bailey at SummerSlam.
Oh,
That
Okay.
may be the way it goes down. Um, she has that it factor.
yeah,
Everybody knows it. Everybody can see it. We got a taste of it in the Elimination Chamber when everybody was chanting for her. She's getting pops even though she's a heel, and she's still raw. I mean, this match kind of showed she still has work to do. Um, because I agree that this was probably the weakest match of the pay per view. I agree with that, and so I gave this one probably like a 2.5, 3 out of 5. I watched it,
yeah,
but I took my eyes off of it quite a bit until the end when I saw that Bailey was going to win. But
yeah.
Naomi, I love Naomi. I think Naomi's fun, but I think she's just there to take pins. I don't think we can expect her to be winning any titles anytime in the near future.
True. Yeah, and you know what? I'll say, and y'all might flame me for this, but Billy's heard me say it, and it's probably living proof that you know Charlotte. I think Tiffany Stratton is the second coming of Charlotte. I do. I see
Ooh.
I see the ability in the ring. She has got the best of everything. She does. Look at how she flies. Look at how she moves. They both are the same height and same build. Look at the only thing is Charlotte's more of a submissionist and not just the figure eight. But look at their agility, the speed, everything. She's the second coming of Charlotte,
And
which
they got
also
the
leads me
swag. They
to
got the
believe
charisma. They
exactly.
can work a crowd.
Really think about it, and also that leads me to believe that Charlotte doesn't have much time left neither. I Come on now, she won the belt like what 13,
Well,
14 times.
13, 14 times, right?
Won
Right?
a Royal
Exactly.
Rumble. Yeah, Charlotte doesn't have that much time left neither. But this is why Tiffany Stratton coming in. I think she came in on time. But I'm gonna swing it to Billy and get your thoughts about this match.
um, you know, like you were saying, it is the weakest link of the match, but it was solid. You know what I mean? Like out of 5 matches for the night, it was the weakest one, but it came out. I did not like the finish, and I don't think Naomi is gonna get a belt anytime soon. She's just there just to flow and be there with Uso, I guess. I don't know. Maybe she's gonna join Uso one day if she's getting tired of losing because she just came back from TNA, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um she might turn a heel change, she might swap it up a little bit. But that most devastating move, like Simon says, hey, she got rolled up and Naomi's just sitting there like, what the fuck? You
Yeah.
know? And
Mhm.
Bailey she stole it. And Tiffany had this match. And I'm expecting Tiffany to just win. Because man, that suplex that she did off, I think it was off the top rope.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, yeah, okay. So when she did that, I'm like, oh my God, man, Tiffany is a beast. And
Tiffany's
she's
it.
just like Charlotte, like you were saying. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? I don't need to break that down because you already broke it down. You know what I mean? She's just like Charlotte. And I don't know why I get confused with her, Charlotte, and Tiffany. Or Tiffany, see? Trish. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, replicas of them. Um, it was a weak match, but it was a solid match. Like, in all 5 matches, this just should have been the opener. Like, no, not even the opener, like a mid card,
Yeah.
not the second match. It was not a doozy, like a snoozer, but it
No,
was
it wasn't. But it was the. But out of compared to the other matches, it was the weakest one on the card.
exactly,
It was a weak one. I
exactly.
mean, I gave it a three.
Yeah,
I
I give it
I gave it a
about.
three.
I'll be generous with the 3. Yeah.
Yeah. It's about what you would give the best match on a Monday Night Raw card, which is
Yeah,
still
Monday Night Raw is gonna be
it was a
fire
good match.
tonight.
Oh yes, it is, and we will get to that here in
Sheamus.
just a second. Going on to our next matchup, the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, for the record, I think everybody kind of knew it was a foregone conclusion. Priest was going to retain the title. You know, uh,
Of course.
it's not exactly Jey Uso's time yet.
Nope.
But I did want to ask this question, and we'll start off with Taz. Does well, first of all, your thoughts about the match, and then also, does Priest feel he has something to prove by not wanting his Judgment Day guys involved in his matches, or is it more like you guys have been screwing up lately? Just don't come near me.
I think Damian Priest being the world champion, he wants to be like Gunther. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
I agree.
Gunther, all he did is the IC champion was give us banger after banger and kept winning fair and
Absolutely.
square. And I think Damian Priest kind of wants to do the same thing. And I think this might be their way of trying to split up the Judgment Day because
Yeah.
because it started, I believe, before the pay-per-view on Monday when he told them, I don't need the Judgment Day needs me. And when he
Ooh,
said that, I was
yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
boy. I was like, it's starting. So I think that was
The
part of the
seas are in
beginning.
the air.
Right. They kind of gave us that little bit there, and then it continued at the pay-per-view when he wasn't happy that they were still beating up Jay after the match. So you can see it starting to turn that way. I think they'll prolong it a little bit. I don't think it'll blow up tonight, but it's definitely headed in that direction. I'm just curious to see how they're going to go about it.
Yeah. I think you know what, that actually is a question on the last topic, but definitely I see you taking this one. I think he wants to, like you said, have that Gunther type of run because Gunther was just a monster heel just running through everybody. You take a look at the monster heels through history that never had to get help from, their buddies or do underhanded tactics.
And here's
The
Imperium.
Gunthers,
He didn't need Imperium.
exactly. The Gunthers, the Lesners of the world, where they
Yeah.
just overpower everybody. I think that's what Damian Priest is aiming for. But I'll swing it to Billy and get your thoughts about this. And what do you think about the match overall?
Hey, man, the match. Hey, first off, that crowd was lit for Uso. They
Yeah,
were doing like the lights went out and they were yeeting.
yeah,
And during the match, he was like, yeet, no yeet. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I found that hilarious. Like, oh, he's getting him. And Priest was getting mad. So I just wanted to say that. But overall, the match was like fire. It was Jay had that, but then you had Finn come out, and then you had Mr. Rumpelstiltskin come out,
Mhm.
and like, where was Dom Dom though? You know what I mean? And we know Mommy's hurt, so you know what I mean. Like, I feel like he said, Mr. Taz, like it's coming. The Judgment Day is breaking up, but here's a swerve now. You know how AOP and Scarlett and everybody got drafted to Raw.
Yeah.
You remember that? What if they do a little thing with them and them? You know what I'm saying? Like, who's gonna? That's a long stretch on that. But I was thinking, when Mommy comes back, Scarlett and them feud because Scarlett's also on the scenes with wrestling as well. So they could be AOB, carrying cross and all that with Judgment Day. But yeah, I it's not Uso's time. It's not.
That's it.
It because Gunther, like you were saying, Damian Priest with the belt, he needs to carry that like Seth did.
Yeah. Agreed. Totally agreed. Well, on to our next one, which also ended up better than I think people expected, and that was the Women's Tag Team Championship.
So I'm gonna let you discuss this one because that's history right there for y'all.
So Cargill and Belair, they defeated the Kabuki Warriors, and hell, I'll answer the sub question. Cargill absolutely stole the show, and that's not any slight at all towards Belair, but that was Cargill's match, especially the ending, which was a top 3 moment of the pay-per-view for me. To show that kind of strength, and you're just throwing Kairi Sane around like a potato sack, and man, I was just like, oh, this is otherworldly, because you're used to seeing men doing this, and for a woman of her caliber,
might want to go against the men too now, and take this daggone women's belt division to another level.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll start off with Taz here, and let's get your thoughts about this match right here. and overall the pairing of Cargill and Bianca Belair.
I'm glad they paired them first before we get them one-on-one.
Yes.
Because everybody, they kind of teased the one-on-one at the Royal Rumble. And I was like, no, not yet. Not yet. we gotta wait for that. That has to be a WrestleMania night one main event type match. We gotta wait on that. So I'm glad they paired them. I like the type of moves they're coming up with as a tag team. We all know Jade is strong, and she just showed everybody. What I do like is she's adding to her repertoire. I like the springboard splash she did in the match. I like that a lot. I was like, okay, I haven't seen her do that before. That's different because what I definitely want her to do is I want her to improve her in-ring wrestling and not just everything be about strength. Show me
what
you
about
can
her mic
do
skills?
some finesse. Show me you can
How
do
y'all
some
think
moves
about her mic
outside
skills?
of press slamming and throwing people around. So the match is entertaining. I still like the Kabuki Warriors. I'm a big Asuka fan, but this is the right decision because their tag title run has been meh, and so it was time for a change and get Asuka back in the singles matches where I think she excels.
I think Billy was asking, what do you think about the mic skills for Jade?
Yeah.
They're okay. They don't give her too much to say. She keeps it very simple, very basic right now. And as she gets better, I think she'll do a little bit more. I love the catchphrase, "The storm is coming." That's good.
Yeah.
It's always good to have a good catchphrase. That's a good one. And they really keep it basic for her right now, and that's good because basic can still be strong if it's presented the right way. And they present her the right way.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. All right, Billy, it's on you. What about this match, man?
Hey, man, I just want to say, they made history, you know what I'm saying? First black African women tag team champions ever. Bianca won her first tag team belt, you know what I mean? Jade won her first ever WWE champion belt. And the way I feel, hey, if we can't go singles right now, like he was saying, wait for them to make it big. Let them pair up first and see what they do. You know what I mean? And make it relevant. Make these women's belts relevant again, because for the longest time, what belt has not been relevant? You know what I mean? They just kept switching it back and forth, and y'all ain't even repping this, but y'all got this belt? And what are y'all doing with it? You know what I mean? We want to see more women, their belts and keep it prestige. You know what I mean? Like they did with Gunther and the prestigious Intercontinental Champion. Right. You know what I'm saying? And let's make belts relevant again. They were dominant throughout the whole match, literally. And they showed force. Like, they're not nothing to play with. They're here to show you they're the game. You know what I mean? Like, and I guess the Kabuki Warriors, like he was saying, you already know that I love Asuka. That's my wifey right there. But
oh yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Right? But yeah, the Kabuki Warriors are all right. But if they're not gonna do nothing and you're not gonna push the tag team with them and give it to a better tag team and make them more dominant, and they got the push because they got the crowd, because they know how to work the crowd, and Kabuki Warriors ain't working the crowd like that. Mm-hmm. Let Asuka be singles and relevant again. So, but I was so happy that Bianca and Jade won those belts. Like, literally, I jumped up and I was like, "Yo, Dad! Yo! We got new champ! New champ!"
Of the 1-2, I didn't think of.
And that ending though, with the power bomb and when Bianca was looking at Jade, she was like this, and then she was like that, and then it, boom, we getting this right now. This our time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, now for our main event, and that is the WWE Championship. So Cody Rhodes successfully defended against AJ Styles. I really didn't think there was too much extra with this. I kind of, me and Raphael who was on this program some time ago, was like, this is kind of like a AJ Styles. He's more than hinted at retirement. This is probably his final world title shot. I think he's.
This is about his last year, I believe.
I think it might be his last year. Yeah, maybe his final year. I think he's gonna spend the rest of the time making stars as he can. And so this championship match is kind of like a hey, thanks for everything type of deal. But still, it was a great match. Cody Rhodes, AJ Styles, two Bullet Club stable leaders. First time ever. You'll probably never see it again. But also, and starting off with Taz, your thoughts about the match and who are some immediate future opponents for Cody?
Well, I thought the match was great. I was kind of going back and forth with some people on Twitter because they were kind of making me angry. I'm not a big fan of comparing a main event match from WWE with the main event match from the other company's pay-per-view because the wrestling styles are different. And some people don't appreciate the wrestling styles the way they should be. What we got from AJ and Cody was an absolute classic, in my opinion. Yeah. Great match, great chemistry. Everything doesn't have to be about crazy spots every time. Sometimes you just need some pure wrestling. Everybody don't need to be flipping all over the place left and right. Sometimes just pure wrestling. Because when I got into wrestling, the closest to flipping around I had was Jimmy Superfly Snuka. And that was pretty basic what he did. So I really, really enjoyed the match. AJ is AJ. He's exactly what he calls himself, and that's phenomenal. And what Cody is showing us is that he is definitely a main event guy. Yeah. It's not, you can't argue it now because when you go one-on-one with AJ, to me, that's a proven opponent. And see, Cody proved it in this match that his first title defense, he went against one of the best in-ring performers you can go against, held his own, gave us in my opinion, a 5-star match, and ended the pay-per-view the right way, and I enjoyed it. As far as future opponents, before it was AJ, I thought his first opponent should have been Randy Orton. When he won the title and he was on Randy Orton's shoulders, Randy kept looking up at him, and I was like, uh-oh, that Viper is going to come for his protege. That Viper's coming. So I thought that would be the first guy because the one thing you don't want to do is ruin Cody's run while you're waiting for the Bloodline situation or The Rock to return for him to go one-on-one with The Rock. So you got to keep it entertaining and interesting. And we all know if he has a rivalry with the Viper, they got a big-time past. And, boy, it's a lot we can get into with that. So Randy would be my next guy. If it's not Randy, I know Cody mentioned in the press conference, LA Knight, not yet. I'm not ready for that one yet.
Here's
that
one
don't
for
get
you.
My blood boiling like Randy.
Here's one for you. Solo Sikoa.
Yeah, that's another good one.
Even if Solo doesn't win the championship, and he shouldn't just yet.
Let's see,
Let's see how he hangs with Cody. And also, Cody would have a bone to pick with him because, remember, it was at WrestleMania 39 because of him why he didn't beat Roman the first time. It was his Samoan Spike. So he's already got a bone to pick with him. He may just tell Solo, hey, man, you know what? I've been waiting on you. I knocked off Roman. Now you're next. You want some of my gold? Come here. Because I gotta pay you back. Yeah. But, Billy, what do you think about this match, man?
Hey, look, I'm going to make this short and sweet, real sweet and short because my man Taz, you just nailed it. Look, Randy Orton, Solo, LA Knight, those are the potential opponents upcoming for Cody. You know what I'm saying? Leading up to SummerSlam with the Rock thing. You know what I mean? I definitely give the match a 5-star, like he said, because I enjoyed it. It's not AJ's time. He's just putting everybody over now. Getting ready for retirement. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, you're good. And it's too early for Cody to just relinquish the belt like that. You know what I mean? They just won it at WrestleMania. Like, you really gonna get the belt off of him like that? And everybody's behind him. So y'all nailed it on the button. Like Randy, LA Knight for the next potential opponents for Cody. Solo in line. You know what I mean? And then they'll build up Randy. Maybe I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. Maybe Carmelo.
No, he already wrestled Carmelo.
Oh, okay, yeah. See, I'm a little behind. You know, yeah, okay. Okay, let's see. Yep, see, that's all. Those were my 3 picks for them in the next lineup.
Well, and last but not least, we'll move on to our so weekly on this program. We always have a segment called Finish or DQ. It's kind of like a buy or sell segment. You know, ask the question. It's like, well, buy, finish, or sell it. A DQ. So,
do you buy it or do you DQ?
Finish or DQ? The Judgment Day will dissolve by Survivor Series this year. Taz, go.
Finish.
Reason?
Well, we already see the writing on the wall. And I think Survivor Series, that's too long from now. I think this thing will be done before the end of the summer.
Oh. So like by SummerSlam?
SummerSlam then.
Possibly SummerSlam. Possibly
it's gotta be like a big PLE, you know what I'm saying?
Finn Balor.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's got to be a big PLE.
SummerSlam may be the culminating event.
So it may be Finn Balor versus Damian Priest at SummerSlam.
Wow. Okay. Billy, what do you think? Finish or DQ?
Yeah, it's gonna be like a finish. Like, no. Judgment Day is coming to their days. There was a rumor that Damian Priest was gonna fight the Demon Finn Balor and come out. So I don't know all about that, but you know, we already know I'm good boys with Steve Corino. He don't tell me nothing. So he don't tell me nothing. He really doesn't. And I see him like every month. So yeah, it's definitely like Judgment Day, like he was saying, I think it's gonna be about SummerSlam. Okay. We gotta finish up the summer, you know what I mean? Because it's May, June, July. We gotta finish up into the storylines. You know what I'm saying? So we'll get to the big punch and finale at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll turn on him. They'll have like a Raw segment or something like that. And Finn, he beats up on Finn or something like that. You know what I mean? And Judgment Day is like, oh my God, what happened?
Yeah.
So.
Very well could be. You know?
I predict SummerSlam finish. Judgment Day.
By SummerSlam.
Their faction, it's no longer none. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And
plus, you ain't got mommy. She was the one that was putting everybody on top.
Yeah, that's true. The question is when they dissolve, what direction is she gonna go?
Oh, that's a very great question.
Now, also keep in mind, she's shown the ability to be successful on her own. She got the best of both worlds. She was world champ before the Judgment Day and during Judgment Day. Yeah. So, you know, now that's another dream match. I want to see Ripley and Cargill, but we'll talk about that another time.
Oh, yeah, man. That would be a dream match. We could do that another time, too. Yes, sir.
That may actually, you know what? I think I'm with Taz on this one. Cargill, Belair should be next WrestleMania 41.
Mm-hmm.
Cargill, Ripley should be SummerSlam.
There we go. I like that.
Cargill, Ripley.
Yes, I love it.
But we'll go ahead and sign off for the evening. Thanks a lot to everybody who tuned in. Thanks, of course, to the Wrestling Professor and to yourself, of course, Mr. Taz Turner. Thank you for joining us and everything, taking time out of your schedule to come and chop it up with us. Tonight, Monday Night Raw, loaded card, King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring qualifying matches. And I'm ecstatic because for the first time in 22 years, King of the Ring will be its own pay-per-view. They're sharing it with Queen.
Yes!
King of the Ring's its own pay-per-view again.
Yes!
You know, so,
absolutely. And then they got the Queen of the Ring.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's its own pay-per-view.
I don't mind them sharing it.
I don't like doing it on Raw. I don't like them doing it on SmackDown. No, make it a pay-per-view.
I agree. I've always
agreed.
I don't mind them splitting it with the women too, but just make it their own pay-per-view again.
Absolutely. Right.
But the qualifying matches begin tonight. Me personally, I think Gunther Sheamus is going to close the show and be the show stealer. But
Yeah.
it comes on here in about 20 minutes. Thanks to everybody out there who tuned in. We will see you next week for more Top Rope Talk. Later.